Hey everybody, it's the PLO professor here. I want your guys' opinion on this because this is something I've never experienced in about 17 years. So please put your comments in. Let me know what you guys think. I'm here at Council Bluffs, Iowa. This is going to be a completely unedited video, and I'm going to try giving you the Reader's Digest version of what has happened here at the WSOP circuit. So as you guys know, I came down here to play in some tournaments as well as some cash games. Just to give you a quick background, at 6 o'clock this morning, I was playing at a 2-3 Hold'em table, and I suggested that we should make it a round-by-round table. Now, there was two games going on. One was a 2-3 Hold'em table. One was a 5-5-10 no-limit Hold'em table, which was considered a quote-unquote private game. We were sitting right next to the private game, and the person who hosts that private game, which apparently you can do in Iowa, says, hey, if you come over here, we'll all play round-by-round. And I said, that's fine, and it's an uncapped game. So I get up, I have $900 in front of me. I go add an additional $1,400 in front. So now I have $2,300 in front of me. I sit down. First of all, there's 6 people sitting around the table. Out of those 6 people, 4 were playing. 2 were watching. One of the individuals watching was not speaking English with another individual. However, I was okay with that because they were always waiting until they were out of the hand to talk in whatever language they were talking, and I can totally respect that. So I go over there, sit down with 2,300, and we play one round of Hold'em. We're 5-handed, essentially. And so we play one round of Hold'em, and then we switch over to the Omaha side, and when we do, a player announces that he's not playing Omaha. He's going to sit out. Now, what he does is he starts taking his chips, and he starts racking up, and he's got about $8,000 in front of him. The entire reason why I went over to this game was because I played with this player the previous day, and he was not a good player. He was specifically weak, and it was somebody I was targeting. So I announced to the table, hey, I didn't mean to bust up your game, and obviously you could tell he was a fish, if you want to call it that. But I said, I didn't want to bust up your table since he was going to sit out in Omaha hands, and you guys told me that you wanted to play round by round in order to invite me, in order to recruit me from the other game I was at. I said, I tell you what, I'm just going to play one round of Omaha, and then I'm going to leave, win, lose, or draw. The whole table's like, yeah, that's fine. I said, okay, so we'll just play one round of Omaha, and that's it. So we get involved in a hand where the blinds are 5-5-10. Gentleman opens up to 50, and they're like, oh, that's standard, and I'm going along with it. That's fine. So I put in my 50. I've got deuce 8-8 queen with a deuce 8 of diamonds. Not a strong hand, but we are short-handed. So keep in mind, with short-handed games, you can open up your range, plus I'm on the button. So we go 3 ways to the flop, $150 in the pot, and the flop comes 5 of diamonds, 8 of hearts, 10 of diamonds. So I flop a set with an 8-high diamond draw. First player checks, second player bets pot, which is 150. I repot it for 600. Other player folds, other player calls. Turn comes the ace of diamonds, bringing in the front door flush draw. Now we still have a set of 8s, and we have 8 high diamonds. Now 5-8-10 is a very draw heavy board. I'm putting my opponent on something like 6-7-9, 7-9 jack, 9 jack queen, something of that nature. So when he checks over to me, I decide, well, he must not have diamonds, so I'm going to head and go pot it. So I make it 1350. He elects to call. River comes out the queen of spades, and he checks, and I check because I'm like, he's either got 9 high diamonds or 7 high diamonds, or I'm not really sure what he's doing. He turns over pocket aces. I turn over an 8 high flush. We scoop. We almost double up off of him. 3 hands later, I rack up. First time in my entire life I have ever had a hit and run, if you want to call it that. But I announced to the whole table ahead of time, prior to that hand, I was going to play 4 hands and be done, because specifically the targeted fish player that I recognize as a professional, and I'm sure there's, we were 5-handed, there's probably 1 or 2 other pros at the table, recognize that he was a super fish, that I was going to get up. Obviously, in a high stakes game, it's normal to be short-handed, but you also prefer to have more fish at the table than you do pros. So in any case, I leave. Come back this evening. It's Saturday evening during the WSOP circuit event. I put my name on the list for Pot Limit Omaha when I came back this morning at 9 o'clock. So I was first on the list. They start calling for Pot Limit Omaha. When they start calling for Pot Limit Omaha, the host of the private game, which was still going on, mind you, gets up and says, hey guys, we're going to play round by round, high and high low. And he recruits the players that are being called for Pot Limit Omaha. 3 of those players, not 1, not 2, but 3 of those players keep pointing at me and say, that guy will play Parliament Omaha, and he's good for the game because I played with him in Vegas a lot. That guy's a lot of action. The host looks at me when I go up to him and I say, hey, I'll play round by round, high and high low, and he says, fuck you, you're out. His exact words, not mine. And I said, what do you mean I'm out? And he goes, well, what after you did this morning, you're not welcome. This is going to be another private game. I immediately go to the floor and say, hey, you know what? I've been here for 30 of the 36 hours. I said I was very first on the list here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been here since then. I've been waiting for PLO. When you start calling PLO, he goes and poaches those players for a quote-unquote private game. I said, this is not appropriate, especially during the WSOP circuit event. Because keep in mind, the WSOP circuit event is attracting players from out of state, such as myself. The floor says, there's nothing I can do about it, Josh. I said, excuse me? There's nothing you can do about it? I said, you start calling a game that I had that was listed, and he goes and recruits those exact same players to play. Now, this is at Council Bluffs, Iowa. But I want your feedback. I want your take on it. Again, this is a completely unedited video. One, I understand what I did as far as a hit and run is something that I have never done in 17 years. It's something that I made a judgment call that, hey, I'm playing 4 more hands. Everybody knew that ahead of time. But 2, should a player be allowed to poach other players during a WSOP circuit event, or should there be allowed private games during a WSOP circuit event? I immediately went to the general manager of Council Bluffs. I believe his name is Thomas Roberts, and I had a discussion with him. I tried getting a hold of Brian, the poker room manager at Council Bluffs. He was not working on a Saturday night, so I decided to send an email to Brian, Thomas, and Tye. Tye is the WSOP director for all of the World Series events, and I sent him my concerns with this. I want your feedback. Please tell me what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments. And this is just something I've never experienced in 16 plus years as a professional poker player and somebody who regularly travels the circuit. So let me know what you guys think. Am I in the wrong? Is the floor in the wrong? What do you guys think should be done? And I'll let you guys know in the comments as far as a follow-up. If you haven't, hit the like and subscribe button, everybody. But I don't think I will set foot in Council Bluffs again, unfortunately. So in any case, play smart, run like a god.